Intro video to Geogebra. So the first thing is you're going to go to geogebra.org and download the program if you haven't already. Just hit the download button, and down over here it gives you some options of how you can download it based on your operating system. It just takes a couple minutes to set up, and you'll be off and running. So the first thing is regarding any software. The syntax, the way you type stuff in to the program, is going to be basically how well your program is going to run. So it's essential that you put every little detail, whether it's a parenthesis, a comma, otherwise it's not going to do what you want it to do. So please pay extra attention to the small details, and it'll make your life a whole lot easier. Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you first of all how to graph a function. So once you have GeoGebra up and running, it's basically a blank canvas with all these different little tools, and I'll show you some of these tools, what they can do. So first of all, I'm going to input a function. So I'm going to show you how you do that using the input bar down over here. So you're going to click on the input bar, and you're going to type in whatever function you want. So I'm going to just make up a function. I'm going to put f of x equal to x to the second power plus 3x minus 8. And then you hit enter, and it's going to graph it for you. Alright, so let me go back to full screen. And notice it doesn't look very good. So go to the little compass tool, and notice there's a hand. So you can kind of drag the sketch around. And then once you go to the y-axis, the hand's going to turn into an arrow. And what that does is it allows you to kind of drag the scale down. And the same thing when you go to the x-axis, the hand turns into an arrow. And you can scale it differently. Alright, so this gives you basically an interactive way to adjust the graph. Next thing is I want to create a slider and then graph a point onto the function. So I want to put a point on this function. Right next to the compass tool, there's a slider. Just go ahead and click on that. And then anywhere on your sketch, click on it, and it's going to create a slider at that point. It's going to ask you for a name. I'm going to name this slider x value. So it's going to be the x coordinate. Now it doesn't allow you to put any spaces, so it has to be typed in as one word. The minimum, I'm going to change this to, let's say, negative 20. The maximum, I want this to be positive 20. And then the increment, I found that if you change the tenths place to the hundredths place, it goes a whole lot smoother. So go ahead and hit apply. And there's your slider. Now to be able to actually move this around, you have to go change from the slider button over to the move arrow. So anytime one of these menu is outlined in blue, that means you're using that tool. So you switch from this one over to the move arrow, and that allows you to move this around. But if you notice, there's nothing happening, right? There's no point on this graph, so I have to actually put this point on the graph. So go back to your input bar. Now, I want the point to depend on the slider's x value. So in the input bar, I want this to be my x value. So I'm going to put a parenthesis, and it's going to be an ordered pair. So the x coordinate is going to be the value of the x, so x value, comma. The y coordinate is going to be the function evaluated at this point. So it's going to be f of parentheses x value. And then you go ahead and hit enter, and then there's the point. And notice now, I'm in the move feature. When I drag the slider, the point's going to move. So my point depends on the value of the slider. All right. And notice if I try to move this manually, if I try to move the point, it's stuck because it's dependent upon this over here. All right. So the next thing is I want to create a text box to show me what the coordinates are for this. All right. So I want to create a text box. So right next to the slider, there's the 3 capital letters A, B, and C. That's going to be insert text. Select that, and then anywhere on your sketch, go ahead and click. Now I want it to be fancy mathematical text. So you're going to choose the text formula, and then you're going to type in value, and then equal sign. So you want this basically to represent what is the y coordinate of this point. And notice that this is an object, so I'm going to go to the object menu, hit the point, select the point. But notice it's giving me both the x and the y coordinate. I only want the y coordinate of this. So what you do is you go to the inside this box, click on it, and then you're just going to put y parentheses. So now it's only showing you the y coordinate. Then you hit OK. So now anytime I move the slider, it's going to show me what the y coordinate is, the value of the function. All right. Now that's a little bit small, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this, go to object properties, and that's when you can change the size of the text. So right now by default it's set to small. I want to change this to large. I also maybe want to change the color, and then I just go ahead and hit the X. Now it's a little bit bigger, you can see. Alright, so you can customize this by clicking on any of the object, hitting object properties, and you can change the line thickness, you can change the color. So this is all customizable. And the last thing is I want to create a tangent line at my point. So I want to create a tangent line like I think I showed you guys in one of the demos in class. Now, Geogebra is written specifically for mathematicians, so it's going to recognize commonly used things. So when you go to the input bar, if you start typing up the word tangent, the second option is going to say point and function. So what it's asking you is, what point do you want the tangent line at? So we want the tangent line at the value, at the x value. And then the function we want to use is the function that we have is f of x. So go ahead and hit f parentheses x, hit enter, and there's your tangent line. So now when I drag this, the tangent line moves with all of this. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the line style to the tangent line. Go to object properties. I'm going to maybe make it kind of golden. Maybe make it a little bit thicker so I can see it. And there's your tangent line. And then the great thing about this tool, is that let's say now I want to redo this whole process for a different equation. All I have to do is change what f of x is, and the sketch is going to remain the same. So if I suddenly have to change my function f of x to, let's say, cosine of 2 times x, let's say plus 3, hit enter, and all it does is it changes the f of x, but the line still is tangent. The text box still remains the same. So it's totally customizable once you have the sketch set up to whatever function you're needing to work with. Okay? And that's part 1 of the introduction video.